All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and his sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, dealing with, we're coming into some different times. Okay, we're coming into some different times, and we really don't have to grasp, okay, and meditate, all right, on the times that we're coming into, you know, because this grace period was all of time for us, all right, to prepare. This was a time to prepare our minds, to lose, to be betrayed, okay, to be uncomfortable, okay, and to endure, okay, this last, suffering, okay, for before the kingdom, you know. And as we've been going into prophecy, apostles and elders, going into prophecy for decades, okay, we've been rehearsing, for these times, okay, and we have to continue, to understand what we're a part of, okay, because preaching it and living in it is two different things, you know. It takes a certain spirit, to go teach this word, but it's going to take another spirit, to live through these prophecies, man, and that's why daily the Lord has been grooming us and conditioning us, okay? That's why we're, you know, uh, always having to sacrifice, okay? Always having, put in position to where we got to trust, okay? Always putting in position to where we got to be patient, you see, and wait on the Lord to make a move, you see? And all these things are doing, okay, is preparing our minds, okay, to endure, you see? Because things are about to change, man. When you read this in the book of Matthew, I read it and expound on it in the spirit. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 1. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. Okay? So the Sadducees, they wanted to see some magnificent sign, from Yahushua. Okay? And this is what he told them. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky. You can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Okay? So he's letting them know the signs is what's happening. Because at that point, here it is, the Messiah was right in front of them. Okay, Yahushua was right in front of them, and they couldn't discern what time they was in. Okay, according to prophecy. You see? So as we see the signs right before our eyes, we see this devil, okay, it's full steam ahead. All right. The White House is a technocracy now. Okay, we see what times we in, and we know, all right, what technology that they want to push, which was prophesied by John the Revelator, okay, in Revelation 13 and 16 and 17. You see, that's here. All right. And we in a time of betrayal. Okay. So if that's here, we know there's going to be heavy persecution. All right. The Lord prophesied that he, will cause a famine of the word. Okay. There was going to be betrayal from family. You see. So we should know that we're here. It's at the door. Things are changing, man. Hey, the way you see these devils, they want to bring in the new world system. Okay. And they're going to continue, all right, to dismantle this old one. Okay. All right, and bring in the new. So they're going to be dismantling it, okay, while we still, all right, uh, uh, going about our day to day. You know, so there's gonna be certain aspects, okay, of our day to day life that's finna change. You see, digital ID systems being rolled out, okay, social credit scores. You see, yeah, it's finna be a different. Esau, he wants to usher in a different world, okay, and he's putting everything in place needed for him to do so, man. Okay, he's not finna sit and play games forever, okay, and trying to be politically correct and wait on this. Nah, this devil is forcing the issue, man. Okay, these are the times we in where this devil is forcing the issue with this new world order, and that's good. Okay, because this is just a step in the process, all right, of the elect being delivered and righteousness being set up in the earth. Okay, but we have to understand things are finna change, man. Certain comforts, okay, we finna have to be in the time, but we're gonna have to be selfless, man. Okay, the Lord's gonna test us and see if we really brotherly. Okay, if we really love our neighbor as thyself, that's finna be tested. Okay, that selfish spirit that want to be comfortable and you know all the time. Nah, that's it. Cause see, we live in a society where America, everybody wants to live this soft life of luxury. Okay, even a lot of men. Okay, everybody want to be booed up 24/7. Look, the Lord finna break up a lot of shit. Okay, the Lord, if it's meant for someone to be offended, we're in a time where the Lord gonna make whoever meant to be offended be offended. You know, and I always pray that I'm not offended in whatever the Lord do, man. Whatever situation or circumstances that He has me in. I pray that I'm not offended. You see, I always, you know, I always try to see, the silver lining in every situation because, all right, uh, Pastor Hart gonna lie, and he's been on fire, as usual, you know, and I got some videos I want to get into in the morning, okay, dealing with, things changing, man, okay, so we have to understand what we see, happening in these other countries now, that's getting ready to happen here, okay, from the social credit system in China, okay, to the way that they, uh, demonize, certain groups, okay, anti-government groups in these other countries, and they wage war on them. Well, all this coming here, okay, everything that America has had the privilege of just sitting back and watching these other nations go through. Well, all this coming here, okay, civil unrest, okay, anarchy, sedition, okay, famine, all right, poverty, okay, all this getting ready to come to America, man. You see, America has had the privilege of sitting back, okay, kicking it, okay, while different parts of the earth will suffer because of America, okay. Well, nah, that's finna change. The Lord finna bring that home, okay. The Lord finna bring all that right here, okay. Let's go to let's go from there. Let's get that in the book, okay. Job chapter 4, all right, in verse and 8. It says, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Okay? So everything that Esau has sown in the earth, okay, everything that America has sown in the earth, everything that Americans, you all right, you tribes, you Americans in general, man, you goddamn Babylonian / Egyptians, okay, which that consists of 2/3. All right, you Edomites and you heathens that are here, man. You other heathens that are here. Okay, you finna catch hell because we talk about, Jacob's trouble. Well, you Americans finna be in trouble, man. Okay, because Jacob's trouble is America's trouble as well. Okay, we finna see it's finna be some new normals in the earth, man. Okay, this is why the Spirit has us tapped in, man. You see, that's why, hey, we don't have time to be occupied in emotions and feelings. Okay, we ain't got time to explain every goddamn thing, man. You know, stop and explain. You see, nah, man, this thing is moving. Hey, we in a no huddle offense right now, man. Okay, things are moving. Okay, hey, Elder Pastor Har said you miss a day, you miss a lot. You know, and it's getting to the point where you miss an hour or two, you miss a lot, man. You know, there's so much going on. All right, so we're coming to a time, all right, where this thing is gonna change. All right, this thing is gonna shift to another gear. Things are gonna happen quicker, and it's gonna be more, all right, drastic events. Okay, so the quality, the quantity, okay, of things are gonna happen. All right, and the intensity of things are gonna increase, man. Okay, mass shootings. That's that's on the uptick. Okay, eventually you're gonna have, whether it be local law enforcement, okay, agent provocateurs, all right, or just, hey, one brave nigga, all right, gonna spark it off with ice, okay, and here comes their hammer. You see, these devils got things up their sleeves, man. Okay, they have things mapped out and planned out. Okay, especially here in America, man, which America is a barrier, all right, one of the major barriers of the New World Order, man. Okay, all these freedoms and liberties, and that Americans are used to, they got to go. You see, and we're in the midst of it. We're affected by these things, man. Okay, we're affected by these things. But see, we have a hope, all right, and the Lord always makes a way. And another thing, um, you know, we have, a network. Okay, that's why during this grace period, man, the Lord, has, the body being closer than ever. Let's get that. When you go to Hebrews 10, you see one of the most valuable things, okay, that we're going to have in this time that we're coming into is a trustworthy, okay, network, okay. And see, let's go here, Hebrews 10. All right, let's go to Hebrews 10 and 25. All right, it says, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. Okay, and we see the day approaching, so the body, is getting tighter. Okay, and guess what? If something ain't right, the spirit finna start exposing more. Okay, because you got these, Jakes think they slick, and you see, Jake think they gonna bullshit their way to the kingdom, and Jake think they gonna stick around and benefit, you know, off the network that the Lord, has put together. And Jake full of shit. Nah, the spirit gonna call it out. It's another thing. The Lord gonna cause, all right, a lot of stones to be turned over, man. Okay, and see, that's why it pays to just be sincere. To be authentic, to be real. Okay, that faking and shaking, hey, that's gonna get exposed. Okay, and you're gonna be out there in the worst time ever. You see, so we want to make sure, speaking to myself first and foremost, that we believe in what we teaching and preaching. Okay, and that we're being sincere, amongst the brethren, man. Okay, because in the times to come, okay, we're really gonna have to apply, all right, loving thy neighbor as thyself on a whole nother level. Okay, and if someone is shiesty in the time of abundance, all right, well, you know damn well how they're gonna be, okay, in the time of chaos, okay, and scarcity, man. Okay, if someone is moving funny, okay, in the time of abundance and convenience, okay, well, you know damn well, okay, they're not to be trusted in time of chaos, man, okay, and the Lord's going to expose these things, man, you know, I'm saying, speaking to myself, you know, first and foremost, and that's why you go here, let's get this in the book of Sirach. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 20. It says, before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation, thou shalt, all right, find mercy, man. And see, we want to find mercy as the Lord is getting ready to judge the earth, okay? As we know this day is coming, we should examine ourselves, man. You know, always looking inwardly on what we could have did better in every situation, man. You know, even situations where, you know, we're not in the fault. Always looking what we can do better and what adjustments, you know, we can make going forward. Okay? Because the Lord take us through certain things, okay, so we can, all right, assess it, okay, and then make the adjustments. You know, the Lord calls us, you know, to be simple for a moment, okay, so we can be in the situation, all right, because the Lord, He has to expose, because a lot of times, let me slow it down, a lot of times, the Lord calls us to go through situations to expose something within us, okay, that needs to be adjusted, okay? And we have to be mindful. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to have spiritual awareness to recognize it, okay? Have the humility, all right, to make the adjustments, okay? And this is all preparing us to go through this next phase, man. You know, hey, you see, it's a cold spirit that the Lord putting on His men, okay? A spirit, you know, of austerity, okay? A spirit of not, you know, being so, because that spirit of the benefit of doubt, hey, that shit there is through, okay? We in the time now, shit, hey, if you not proven, okay, if you ain't been around it, hey, in the time to come, see, it's just gonna be out there, man, okay? You see, and the Lord, you know, has blessed us, you know, with a beautiful network, you know, of like-minded men, okay? And this is why, you know, we should cherish the brotherhood now, okay? Not only when things get drastic, but now, man, you really got to cherish the brotherhood now, man. You know, as we see the day approaching, more and more, how much more should we cherish the brotherhood, man? Okay? Because we really, all we got, man, it's going to be the remnant versus the world. You see, we finna see persecution, man. Hey, you see, we finna see persecution, man. You gonna see faces on news, okay? You gonna see certain accusations, you know. Hey, U.S. Marshals and ICE can come to your job, okay? Hey, these things, you know, catch you out, you know, in the restaurant, in these what they call quasi-public areas, okay? So this is where we at with it. You see, things are finna change. All right, you gotta, and we should be able to see. You know, matter of fact, let's get there real quick. You know, let's go here. Okay, and we should be more circumspect. You know, in these times. All right, more, you know, secluded. You know, more isolated. You see, we should be a mystery to the world, not no open book. Okay, we should be a mystery, man. You know, and that's a skill we learn in the truth. How to be what? All right, wise as a serpent. And one of a serpent's, okay, uh, tactics, okay, is to blend in. Okay, to be there. A lot of times, if you're in the woods, you will by a serpent, you'll never know. You'll by a snake, and you'll never know. Okay, a snake is not trying to do too much, trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to know everything all the goddamn time. No, that ain't. The serpent is very strategic in how they move. Okay, and we should be very strategic how we move in this time, man. Okay, praying for the spirit to be strategic, man. Praying to be wisdom. To be wise. Okay, not as fools. Walk circumspectly, not as fools, man. Okay, so let's go here to what I'm finna what it was. The scriptures say, let not your left hand know what your right hand doing. See, these things have to increase in these times. Okay, knowing how to be incognito. Okay, this ain't time to be a super Hebrew Israelite, over righteous. Okay, this ain't that time. All right, for you newer, brothers coming in, that zeal, that uncontrolled zeal, like hey, we in the time we gotta control our spirit, you know, because things are gonna play out however they play out. All right, but we're commanded to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, man. And that's what keeps us protected as well when we obey. Okay, when we walk according to the conduct of the scriptures, that keeps a hedge around us, man. You know, to be within that hedge, well, we have to be in a certain conduct. Okay, a certain level of humility, a certain level of appreciation, a certain level of labor. Okay, certain level of discipline. Okay, there's certain requirements to be in the hedge, man. So we should be tapped in, to those requirements of being in this hedge. Okay, this is the time that we're in. Okay, so we see what time we in, man. Okay, there ain't no question, ain't no guessing, ain't no mystery about what time we in. Okay, we're here. You see, so expect things to change, man. Expect, you know, drastic change. You see, prepare, to endure. Prepare to be uncomfortable, man. Prepare, okay, to sacrifice things, man. Prepare for betrayal. Okay, don't have this one track mind like it's gonna go this way. Nah, man, we don't know how it's gonna go. We don't know who gonna do what. Prepare for betrayal, man. You see? So that's the point. I leave it there, Lord will. You brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to our younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.